got more solo records than most of them that really hit. Remember that? You did. Like, I got a lot of gold singles and I got some action. It's really hard for a lot of people from New York to win with Capo. And I got freestyles I could do. In New York City, it's gonna be hard. I would say that for anybody.
You know, on the record,
It sounds like he want to do one with 50 Cent. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like Jim.
Nah, I don't want to do nothing with that sucker. You heard? You need to leave him out of the conversation.
Yeah, I just seen the Breakfast Club. Jimmy popping all that boo. I be seeing Jimmy talking about, we Gucci boo boo. He in the Gucci store talking about, we Gucci boo boo. The Black King they was going fuck. Jimmy, they was like, Marita Monero.
Diplomats, nobody else. Me, Jim Jones. Check my track record, then check everybody else's track record. Then go to the billboards and check all my entries, then check all them entries. And like, if you want to go to the billboard entries, pull up Nas billboard entries, and pull up my billboard entries.
can we address one thing though?
Go ahead.
Jim Jones has 9 entries in the Billboard 200 with 3 top 10 albums and no number ones, while Nas has 27 entries, 16 top 10 albums, and 6 that have reached number 1 on the Billboard.
Jimmy was not a rapper then.
Right.
He was your man, like on the side, like in the side, just he was not a rapper at all. Right. So when Ballin' took place, and I'm looking and I'm going, oh, he having a moment. That's the Lloyd Banks. That's Lloyd Banks.
When 50 Cent throws a warning, the whole rap game holds its breath, and this time the crosshairs landed square on Jim Jones. It all started after Jim got slick in an interview, tossing a line everyone knew was aimed straight at Curtis. A lot of these dudes act tough for the cameras. We know who really outside. That single bar blew up the internet like fireworks, because when you name-check the one rapper who's both boardroom smart and street certified, people listen. 50 don't do subliminals. He makes declarations that rattle the industry, and he never lets disrespect slide. Within hours, he answered, not with some drawn-out diss or studio flex, but with a cold, merciless Instagram post that read like a gunshot. Some of you'll better chill before I remind the city what really happened. No tags, no emojis, no explanation, just pure, calibrated threat energy. The timing was flawless, the tone frozen, and everyone knew exactly who he was talking to. Jim. The internet went up in flames the second 50 dropped that post. The comment section turned into a war zone, fans flooding it with fire emojis, popcorn gifs, and warnings like Jim better chill before 50 starts pulling out receipts. Because
expect to see with a Cameron and 50 Cent collaboration?
I don't know what to expect to see from them two suckers. I wouldn't care what to expect to see from them. I wish them the best. Heard? Just stay out my way, please.
That's all?
He wanted that. He was watching them be that, like Mace be that and Cam be that, and looked at, and it was finally, he had one. Mm-hmm. And I just looked, and I knew, I just took the shot, Murder, to see, because I wasn't sure he was going to go for it. But I was like, we like Jimmy better than you anyway, Cam. Then you got to watch and see how he was talking. And then, when you see, he like, oh, he really like that. Give me this, give me Jimmy. Yeah, tell him we want you at the show, Jimmy. Yeah, but that was one of those things I just threw it out and see what. And then when he bit to it, because it was like he was having a moment that not sure that was going to ever happen again at that point. And then he's going, for them, they have records that where, look, I always say this to certain artists, I go, damn, when is he going to have his moment? Like, fast.
As everybody knows, when 50 says remind the city, he's not talking about diss tracks or rap beefs. He's hinting at those real-life street stories that rappers pray never resurface. 50 doesn't just talk, he strategizes. Every move, every word, perfectly calculated. When he fires off a message like that, it's not for views, it's a declaration of dominance. Even the blogs went haywire. Headlines everywhere read, 50 Cent back in villain mode, and Jim Jones might have poked the wrong giant. That clip spread like wildfire across every major platform. Within hours, insiders claim even Jim's own people were telling him to stand down. Because in hip-hop, there's one unspoken rule. You don't mess with a man who built an entire empire out of beef and still came out undefeated. And now, the question echoing through the streets, what did 50 mean by remind the city? Was it an old Harlem secret? A street story that was never meant to be public? One thing's for sure, when 50's in this mode, he doesn't talk, he exposes. And that's when careers crumble. But 50 didn't stop there. He turned the heat up even more during a live conversation, saying, "Hip-hop's competitive, but let's be real. Certain people shouldn't even say my name until they've accomplished something worth mentioning." Then he went in for the kill. Jim Jones? Who is Jim Jones? He's not on anybody's top 10. Maybe not even his family's. 50 compared him to the 8th guy on the bench yelling at Jordan, saying he's the loudest one with the least to show. That line hit hard, pure 50 energy, savage and surgical. And the truth is, this beef isn't new. 50 and Jim have been circling each other for years, from the Dipset versus G-Unit tension to those deep, unspoken street stories that never made it online. This isn't just rap, it's personal, layered, and old. But the game's different now. 50 isn't the mixtape hustler in a bulletproof vest anymore. He's a mogul, a media powerhouse, a man who runs the narratives. When 50 speaks now, it's not just heard, it's headline news. And when he posts a warning like that, it doesn't just sting, it shakes the entire culture. Because while 50's running TV shows, building brands, and rewriting hip-hop history, Jim's still talking slick like it's a DVD era. The difference? 50's playing chess in a world where Jim's still arguing over checkers. That's exactly why this moment hits different. 50's not moving like a rapper defending his pride. He's moving like a boss who knows one post from him can end careers. His responses aren't petty tweets. They're power moves. Jim might have thought he was cracking a harmless joke for clicks, but when 50 fired back, the whole...
Man, Jim Jones right here. Bought you the biggest record of last year, right?
Oh yeah, we had a nice time last year.
What we call that?
I was balling, we still balling.
Yeah,
what's poppin', big baby?
Yes, sir. It's balling. You know, so
man, we got
Jimmy was not a rapper then.
Right.
He was your man, like on the side, like in the side, just he was not a rapper at all.
Right.
So when balling took place, and I'm looking and I'm going, oh, he having a moment. That's the Lloyd Banks. That's Lloyd Banks thing. He was watching them be that, like Mace be that, and Cam be that, and looked at, and it was finally he had one. And I was like, we like Jimmy better than you anyway, Cam. Then you gotta watch and see how he was talking.
why don't you hear it? We gotta do that one time. Tell me how to show you how you do it.
You got to pass me the ball for
Tell me we gotta do that.
Throw me the ball, baby.
You know what I mean?
He was having a moment that not sure that was gonna ever happen again at that point, and then he's going. For them, they had records that were, look, I always say this to certain artists, I go, damn, when is he gonna have his moment? Like, Fat, I said.
The whole mood flipped in seconds. The laugh stopped. The energy shifted. Suddenly, it wasn't about what Jim said. It was about what 50 knows. And when that question starts echoing through the hip-hop world, you already know something serious is brewing behind scenes. To understand why this hit the culture so hard, you've got to rewind to the golden era, early 2000s New York. Back when the city ran hip-hop. It was 50 Cent in G-Unit versus Cameron and Dipset, two unstoppable forces carving up the map. Queens and Harlem both had that royal swagger, power, flash, and street grit wrapped in pure confidence. It wasn't all-out war, but the rivalry was heavy in the air. You could feel it in the freestyles, the award shows, the radio interviews. Every encounter dripped with ego. And Jim Jones? He was Dipset's loudest soldier, the Harlem mouthpiece who made sure the world knew they weren't bowing to Queens. But here's the difference. 50 never had to remind people who he was. His history did the talking. This man built an empire from the ground up, survived gunfire, smashed records, fought the whole industry, and still came out on top. Jim could say he was real, but 50 proved it. From Southside Jamaica, Queens to a global TV empire, 50 turned street survival into a billion-dollar blueprint. That's why his warning didn't sound like a threat. It sounded like a verdict. Because when 50 Cent presses that button, it's never about ego anymore. It's about control, legacy, and the reminder that he still runs a board. 50 lived every bar he ever rapped, every line, every lyric, all rooted in real life. That's why when Jim Jones started getting slick,
Give me the can right now. He just did the interview with 50.
For the younger audience, we had like a rap battle day at one time. And 50, what you did, so we was having interior problems at Dipset. Nobody knew about this. Nobody knew that we was like not on the same page.
Right.
So when me and you were battling during our music thing, you got members of Dipset to come to that show. Niggas be on my dick, right? Them niggas ain't got nothing else to think about but Capo. I did a lot for them niggas and they like, you know? Both of them. Pause though, get off my dick. It's only space on there for people, bro, man. Come on, man. Talking about my shit like that.
Yeah, you never clear shit up. I mean, we never hear your side of the story. Kim's like, I thought we could pull it together. Next thing I know, I see Jim performing with
Nigga ain't think nothing, you could pull nothing together. You couldn't do nothing with me, you couldn't tell me nothing, nigga. But let's not get this shit twisted. Like, nigga, nobody could tell me nothing, nigga. I was my own boss. I did what I did as a fucking soldier, because I was a soldier, nigga. You know, I had the soldiers, nigga. They didn't tell me nothing. You know, I did what I wanted to do. I seen this shit wasn't going right, so I started doing what Jim Jones needed to do for Jim Jones. Because the nigga that was supposed to be the Don wasn't taking care of the Capo. Started feeling like the guy.
Fans didn't see confidence. They saw envy. Because everyone knows 50 didn't just talk about the grind. He survived it. No cosigns, no safety nets, just raw hustle and grit. Fast forward to now, and 50's not just a rapper, he's a global powerhouse. A multimillionaire mogul running hit franchises like Power and BMF, stacking wins while turning his name into a worldwide brand. Meanwhile, Jim's still hopping from interview to interview, name-dropping like it's currency, trying to stay relevant in rooms 50 built from scratch. That's why 50's post didn't feel like rap beef. It felt like a boss checking his employee. The tone wasn't petty. It was powerful. That cold, calculated, know-your-lane energy that cuts deeper than any diss record could. And insiders say it didn't come out of nowhere either. Word on the street is 50 had been clocking Jim's subliminals for months. The jabs about Maze, Cameron, and now him. Jim's been poking the Harlem legend's tree one too many times, and now it's shaking back. The internet didn't hold back either. Comment sections lit up with jokes calling him Harlem's noisy neighbor, claiming Jim talks more than he charts. And honestly, they're not lying. Jim's biggest problem is he's still trying to prove something no one's asking for. Still yelling about being outside, still preaching that is real Harlem, but it's 2025 now. The streets move digital, and the flex is different. The game's about power moves, not punchlines. Strategy, not shouting. And that's exactly where 50 thrives. He doesn't just talk dominance, he executes it. That's why when he dropped that post, fans said it felt like Classic 50 was back. That ruthless get-rich-or-die trying energy, the kind that made the whole industry tighten up overnight. The tone, the confidence, the suspense, it all reminded people exactly why 50's name still commands both respect and fear. He's not the type.
Jim Jones drops a 50 Cent and Cameron diss track, so you got Jim Jones dropping a diss track against 50 and Cam. Y'all know 50 went on Cam's show. Cam brought up the situation where you had Jim Jones performing with 50 while Cam and 50 were beefing. Jim Jones ain't like that, started going in on Cam.
I've been doing some soul searching, and I think I won out the group, okay? Hey, you just kicking us out the group. He just wear Junior on his hat. And,
50 shot my brother, I'ma find that nigga.
take too long to respond to Jimmy. So put it in the comment section. Hey, talk about me every day. Why? Because I'm on a jet right now. That's why. I am the algorithm. So what you gotta do, you gotta blow a shot at me. When you do the most numbers, they gonna talk about you. I'm saying niggas just talking mad shit up. Alright, don't have that shit up. Like you ain't even like that. I'm not gonna drink on. I'm not valid for that. $25,000 bottle. Wait. I'm not valid for that. Nah, get that nigga the other one. Why I gotta have extra trucks? Because Jimmy and Bleak looking for
to hop online and argue. 50's a type to pull files, to drop fact that end careers. So when he said remind the city, fans knew that wasn't just clever wordplay. That was a warning from someone still plugged into every block, every boss, every backroom in New York. From the streets to the skyscrapers, 50's reach runs deep. And Jim's response? Pure silence. No post, no live, no apology, not even a slick comment. That silence spoke volumes, because when 50 calls you out and you go ghost, that's not calm. That's pressure. The kind that freezes a city and makes everyone wait to see if it's about to blow the lid off something Harlem buried years ago. And right now, Jim is feeling that pressure heavy. Because while it's gone quiet, the internet sure hasn't. The second 50s post went viral. The online detectives clocked in like it was their day job. Blogs, fan pages, old-school hip-hop heads. Everyone started digging into the archives, unearthing the forgotten tension between these two. And what they found made this beef look way bigger than a few interview jabs. For years, there have been whispers that 50 and Jim's issues weren't just about rap. There were alleged street deals gone sideways, money talks that ended ugly, and alliances that fell apart behind the scenes. It's never been confirmed publicly, but when 50 said remind the city, everyone knew he wasn't talking ego. He was referencing something real. Clips started resurfacing, interviews, old studio stories, and moments that suddenly made sense in hindsight. Fans pointed out how 50 once moved like a chess master while Jim just reacted, hinting that something deeper was always at play. People recall the Cam'ron versus 50 Cent feud on Hot 97, that legendary moment when Cam yelled, "You can't ban the whole Dipset," and 50 just laughed like the war was already won. Back then, Jim was right there, Harlem's loudest soldier backing his boss. And even though years passed, that ego war between Queens and Harlem never truly died. 50 kept evolving, building empires, stacking checks, running TV, while Jim kept tossing slick comments, clinging to old grudges like unfinished business. Now it's looking like karma finally came back around. Fans online are saying the same thing over and over. Jim should have just left 50's name out his mouth. Because if there's one thing history proves, it's that 50 doesn't forget and he doesn't forgive. This is the same man who buried J.A. Rule's career, humiliated CEOs, and trolled billionaires into silence. Nobody is off limits. When 50 marks you as a target, it's not for clout, it's for closure. And if history really does repeat itself, Jim Jones might be next on 50's hit list. And when 50 starts his takedown, there's no pause button. From the jump, Jim tried to explain his silence, saying when 50 made that cock comment and Cam took offense, he was riding regardless. In his words, me not saying nothing meant I was ready to go. But fans weren't buying it. They pointed out that back then, Jim had bowling, tearing up the charts. He had a voice, a platform, and every chance to speak up. Instead, he stayed quiet. Now, years later, that same silence looks more like hesitation than loyalty. He can say he was ready to ride, but the truth is, the game don't remember intentions, only actions. And when you're dealing with 50, every word, or lack of one, carries weight. What's wild is 50 didn't even have to say much this time around. One cold Instagram post, no hashtags, no emojis, just pure menace, was enough to send shockwaves through the culture. Within hours, rappers started unfollowing Jim. Bloggers dug up old clips of him talking slick. Even his Harlem peers went ghost overnight. The energy online shifted heavy. Everyone's on edge, waiting for 50's next move, that possible expose moment that could flip the narrative and torch reputations. And if that happens, trust, it's going to break the internet clean in half. Because when 50 Cent steps into villain mode, he doesn't just trend, he takes over. Then out of nowhere, fans noticed something strange. 50 deleted the post. And instantly, the internet lost its mind. Because when 50 deletes something, it's never random, it's calculated. Everyone knows 50 doesn't backtrack. He plots. If he erases a post, it means one of two things. He's either lining up something massive or the real play has already begun behind the curtain. That's what separates him from most rappers. They talk for attention. 50 moves for impact. His mastered silence like a weapon. No yelling, no rants. Just quiet tension that suffocates a room. And right now, Jim's sitting dead center in that tension, pretending to be unbothered while everyone else can feel the walls closing in. Even though his team claims he's calm, the streets ain't convinced. Because when 50 Cent's name enters a chat, even silence sounds loud. Every podcast mention, every shady tweet, every rumor suddenly feels like foreshadowing. People are refreshing pages like it's a countdown, waiting for that next digital bomb to drop. And here's the real twist. This isn't even about music anymore. It's personal. It's about pride, respect, and legacy. Jim built his brand on Harlem toughness, on being the real one who stands tall when others fold. But now, The internet's flipping the narrative, calling him the man who woke up 50 Cent. And that's a dangerous label, because when you wake 50 up, he doesn't just roast you, he rebuilds his empire off your downfall. So the question everyone's asking now, what happens next? Is 50 gearing up to drop receipts that'll melt Harlem? Or was this post just a silent warning to back off before it's too late? Either way, the message has landed. 50 Cent doesn't play about respect. He has built too much, fought too long, and lost too many to let anyone, especially Jim, use his name for clickbait. The difference between them couldn't be clearer. 50's not a rapper anymore. He's a brand, a global business, a machine that prints headlines and money in the same breath. Every move he makes feeds his empire. Meanwhile, Jim's still fighting battles that 50 turned into business 20 years ago. And that right there says it all. 50 Cent builds empires from chaos. Jim Jones just keeps getting lost in it. One man's silence can move the whole culture, while another man's noise just fades into the scroll. That's why fans are saying this feud exposed something deeper. Jim's out here begging for validation, while 50 already is validation. The difference is night and day. Jim wants respect. 50 is respect. And the wildest part? Some fans think 50's post wasn't even aimed solely at Jim. It was a coded message to the entire industry. Like a cold reminder that even in 2025, 50 Cent still calls the shots whenever he decides to speak. Think about it. One cryptic caption from 50 can hijack the whole internet for a week straight. That's real power. No promo runs, no hashtags, no interviews, just a single line that makes the world stop and speculate. That's influence. Meanwhile, Jim's every move is being watched under a microscope. If he claps back, 50's unloading. If he stays quiet, they'll call him soft. Either way, it's checkmate. Because 50 doesn't beef, he strategizes. He's not reacting. He's predicting. Always 3 steps ahead, playing chess while everyone else is busy arguing over checkers. Even celebrities started chiming in, subtly hinting that Jim better fall back while he still can. Because everyone in hip-hop knows one thing about 50, he never forgets. He waits. He watches. And when the timing's perfect, he strikes. And when he does, it's never small talk. It's career-ending receipts. That's why this warning post hit different. It wasn't a random jab. It was a statement. A reminder that 50's name still holds weight no rapper wants to test. He didn't tag anyone, didn't drop a verse, just made the internet hold its breath. His message was simple but loud. Don't play with me. I built too much to entertain clowns. And now, the entire hip-hop world sitting on edge, waiting to see what happens next. Will Jim take the L quietly, or will he make the mistake of poking the bear again? Because with 50, silence isn't peace. It's preparation. The man built an empire by knowing exactly when to strike. Whether it's launching TV empires, exposing rivals, or turning beef into brand power, everything 50 does has purpose. That's why fans can't look away. Every blogger, podcaster, and fan page is waiting for his next move. Will he drop a line that flips the script? Post a clip that exposes everything? Or just let silence roast Jim while he sweats under the spotlight? However it plays out, one thing's guaranteed. 50 just reminded everyone why his name still sends chills through the industry. In a world full of loud talkers and short attention spans, he remains a one man who can shake the entire culture with a single sentence. As for Jim, he's got 2 options. Stay silent and protect what's left, or clap back and risk waking the beast. Because history shows, when 50 locks in, he doesn't stop until his version of the story becomes a version of the story. But what do you think? Will Jim hold his ground, or back down before it's too late? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button, and subscribe, because this story's far from over. And trust me, you won't want to miss the next twist in this wild hip-hop saga.